Hi everyone, thank you for visiting my channel. Today I'm going to talk about past lives and what kind of past life you might have when you are under hypnosis. So I divide past lives into categories, and I'm going to talk about all of them in this video. So the first category is the past life on the planet Earth. You back in time. It can be any time in history. It can be any place in the world, but you are human and you can be a female or male. You can live anywhere. You can be any race. You can be any ethnicity. You can be, as I said, like male or female. Everyone's past life is very unique. So it's never going to be the same for different people. Meaning your past life is just your past life. So when we're going through the earthy past life, we can go to the beginning of that past life. We can go somewhere in the middle, or we can go right away to the end when the client is about to die or something about to happen. And this is very important for the client to experience. And it doesn't mean he's going to have physical sensations of him or her dying. It's just that his soul, his higher self, wants to show him the moment before his death or when he's dying, just to teach him a lesson or show something that is very important. Remember, your higher self, even if we're not doing physical healing hypnosis, if we're not doing higher self hypnosis, we're just doing past life, it's going to show you what it's supposed to show you. Like I recently had a client who was a farmer and he was growing a lot of different vegetables in that life. He was kind of trying to, get the vegetables, sell them, and make some money that way. So that was one of his past lives. So basically, the reason he was showing that past life is because he needed to learn that that was like his process in that life. There was like multiple reasons. There's never like one reason, usually it can be, but it was like he was going through multiple lessons. So we were like in that past life, he was able to see him when he was younger, when he was like a little bit older, and when he was dying. Another client that I recently had just went straight to the death scene. And it was perfectly fine because that was her experience and her soul wanted her to experience certain things. I had a client when they were not a human, but they were still reincarnated on the planet Earth. Meaning, I had a client in one of his past lives. He was a wolf. He was a wolf. He was telling me about like what is he's doing on a daily basis, like how it's important to like find the food and everything else, which was very interesting experience. I had a client who was a tree. I had multiple different clients. There were multiple different things. I work with different clients and everyone's subconscious is very different. That's why it's always going to vary from person to person. There's never going to be the same experience because we all different energy. We all live through multiple lives and we all contain different knowledge. We have different filters, how we see the world. like, again, circumstances, experiences, how you've been raised, multiple things playing role into every individual. So back to the topic. So the second past life I would call is past life when you are living somewhere else, meaning on a different planets or different galaxies or different dimensions and stuff like that. I'm going to quickly share one story about the client that I had like a couple months ago. She was not like a human being, or some kind of like, I would say some kind of like a energy, like she was not even like, she didn't really have a body. So in that place where she was like an energy, but it wasn't like on another side. It was like an energy, like she was an energy, and she had to do multiple things to learn certain things. It's going to be really hard to explain it here. You have to hear like the whole thing to kind of get the understanding of what's going on. And sometimes when people start going through past lives, it can get very convoluted. There's no, like, when I talk to their subconscious, and their subconscious tries to like tell me what it is, like I heard it multiple times, like I'm not going to be able to explain it to you, but the best words how I can describe it. So, and it gives me like the best words they can describe it, what's happening. So this is something that I'm used to it at this point. Her subconscious was trying to explain it to me in the best way that it was possible. What's going on, what she's doing, who is she, and like what is around her. Let's go back to the last category. I do have clients that are going through their present life. So, for example, they are living in this life, and they seen their childhood or like time when they were like, in college, or like something happened in their life. And that is also a possibility because, again, when we are entering subconscious, it shows you what you need to see. So if you see your present life when we go in a past life, that is perfectly fine. There's nothing wrong with you. There's just lessons that you learning. So your soul is always going to choose what you need to see, what you need to know. So if you're not prepared to see something, it's not going to show it to you. It's going to show you exactly what you are ready for. So also, I have clients that keep on coming back, and I have done multiple sessions with them. I have like one individual that I see every couple of weeks, and we are getting very, very deep into his subconscious. We have discovered multiple past lives that he was living in. And there's multiple things that he learned about his soul journey and stuff like that I'm not gonna go through in this video. But I just it depends on where you are in your path and how much you wanted to discover about yourself, because knowledge is always a good thing. And I believe that you should know as much as possible about yourself. And I think like hypnosis is the best way to know yourself. So we had a session not too long ago, and we went through one of his past lives before, long time ago. And then he starts seeing the same past life, but different fragments of that past life, because like his soul was ready to show him more about that past life. So there was more things that happening in that past life. So he was able to get even like better understanding of what was going on in that past life. Because again, like if we do multiple sessions with a client, you may go to a different past life, you may go to the same past life that you have seen in your previous session. You never know, but you're always gonna see what you're meant to see. So one more category, I also have clients that are they go to spirit side right away, and they are either connecting with someone that they're supposed to connect with, or there's like a knowledge, some kind of like information exchange, something is going on. When we're supposed to go to past life, and then this client jumps and goes into the other side basically right away. So it happens too. And I also have clients that see their dad relatives, like, or their dad pets. It doesn't happen as often, but usually when it happens, it means that spirit, that soul is trying to contact you, and they have a message for you. So when that happens, I usually always ask, do you have any messages? And usually there is some kind of hold, and usually there's something that needs to be released. And that spirit is trying to communicate through the session and talk to the client, and you know, and help the client. There's also something that I call jumping from one life to another. So for example, if you are in a past life and you all of a sudden jump somewhere else and you're a completely different person, you're completely in a different place, it happens. That's perfectly fine as well. It means your soul just wants to show you multiple past lives and like a fragments of the certain things that are happening. And that is perfectly fine. Some people try to like really analyze it, because like sometimes in the session, like they have like a smooth selling, and they have like a smooth session. They, like, for example, they are I don't know, like a housewife in like in 80s and stuff like that, and she's like making a meal and she's like all about her kids, but then all of a sudden like something happens, and like she goes into like different life and she's a completely different person, and that is perfectly fine. It happens. If you call to do the past life regression, don't be afraid of that, because you're never going to be showing more that you can handle at that time. So when I was I would say at the beginning of my spiritual enlightenment, uh, I was always like showing pieces of what I have to like see, like the little fragments of certain things. Like I would like take it in like a small portions. And I went to school for the hypnotherapy as well. So when I had people to do like a session on me, I was never showing more than I can handle. So I would be able to see just like fragments of little things that happening in my past life. And as I progressed in my spiritual journey, like I'm able to see more and more. And but again, you need to be serious about it, and you have to let it go. Like, because I feel like a lot of people, they wanna know who they are, what their soul is, why you choose this journey, why there's multiple things happening in your life, but they not fully letting it go. Meaning their ego, their logic tries to analyze, overanalyze. It's like it creates the whole battle in their head. And it's like, oh, this is not happening. This is not real. Like I have to do groceries like after the session, or I have to go to a store. Like I have to pick up my kids. I have to go to work. I have this project. It tries to distract them, and they following their ego, and they're not able to go as deep as they can in a session. So for those people, I would recommend just always like do not engage with the ego. When you are under hypnosis, it's going to try to distract you. It's a program that is just constantly there, no matter what you do. Like if you're at work, you want to get home. Like when you're home, you want to go to like, I don't know, like to a Starbucks. And when you're at Starbucks, you like it's always up to next thing, and it's always trying to distract you as much as possible. So don't let it fool you. Just let it go. And that's why I always tell my clients, please meditate. Meditate before the session at least 5-6 times before the session, at least for 5 minutes. Learn to close your eyes, take a deep breath in, and just listen to your breathing. That's the best solution that I can give. If you're more advanced, you're gonna know more about the meditation. I'm not gonna talk about a meditation here, but just for the people who don't meditate, just for 5 minutes before you go to sleep, close your eyes. You don't have to sit in weird position or anything. Just close your eyes, lay comfortably in a bed, and just listen to your breathing and let those negative thoughts circulate in your head. And that's how you're going to learn to separate yourself from your negative thoughts, which is your ego, which is that program, the left brain, that keeps on rolling and rolling and rolling and makes a lot of people miserable. If you want to reprogram your ego, I can definitely make another video about that, and I can tell you more about the reprogramming certain things. But this video is about the past lives, and I just want to tell you a little bit more about the past lives. So I hope you find this information helpful. If you have any questions, reach out to me or leave a comment. I hope you have a good day, and thank you for watching this video. I'm very grateful, and until the next time.